We on live. All right, peace to my RBG Nation. It's your boy God Nollywood Jr. And it's going to be a good topic. The name of this topic is American Media Chattel Slavery. And I got my boy, my brother from another mother, my brother Craig in the house. How you doing, my brother? How you feeling?
Oh yeah, peace, bro. Peace.
Yeah, man. And I'm glad you're on board. Hopefully, Brother Bakari could join us. Um, this is a good topic, man, because I see a lot of things, man. I see a lot of things that's going on, and I'm not feeling what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to prove in this topic, I'm going to prove that slavery or separate this basically about. We already know what happened during chattel slavery. A lot of families been separated, right? You know, the mothers, the children been separated from their mothers. The husband's been separating. The husband been separating from his family, and this been going on for a long time now. Now they use in media of separating black families, and they brainwashing our people by saying by doing this is more like psychological. They use physical force, but now they use in media as a psychological force to separate us from the black man and from the black man, black woman, and child. And they're using, swirling and homosexuality to do it. And I'm going to prove to you that they're doing this. And I'm a little disgusted by it. You know, I've seen a lot of it through a lot of these little known TV shows like Flash and doing it with a lot of a lot of black shows really like Black Lightning. They doing it through Empire. Um, they doing a lot of black separation, even in The Walking Dead, which I'm going to prove. So I'm going to screen share a couple of things, and just to let you know where I'm getting at. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay. I got this problem here. Okay. Now, Craig, you see this?
Yeah, yep, I can see it, bro. Yeah.
Okay. Now, as you can see, they've been separating us since chattel slavery. And as you can see, take the baby from the moms, you know what I'm saying? These are actual pictures. These are pictures that because they didn't have cameras back then, so they used to draw a lot of what was going on during the what they call black markets back in those days. So this is a actual picture of how they used to separate us, separate our families. Um, there's another picture right here where they separate the husband, the black man, from the black woman, and it just the reason why they do this because they know that they see if you go back to ancient Kemet, the black man and black woman are the most powerful. When we become united, we become no joke. Especially, everybody know the black women are warriors and fighters. They fought along with the black men and vice versa. This is the reason why the Haitian Revolution became very successful. Um, I wish even Nat Turner. I wish there were more black women to join uh, his revolt. I do remember there was one black woman that joined his revolt, and she also got hung for it. But I wish there were more sisters that joined him. If you look at what happened to slavery in Jamaica, You had a lot of sisters that joined the fight. So we are no joke. I mean, if you look at sisters in Somalia, and how they have AK-47s with the babies on their back. I mean, if you look at the movie Black Hawk Down, you have black women shooting, like, just I mean, they fighting with the brothers, and I like that. And if you look at it, fast forward to the Black Panther Party, I'm talking about the original Black Panther Party. The black woman was there. They wanted to join in with their brothers, and I love that, and I love that. Brother Craig, have you remember that movie, that show 24 Legacy? Do you remember that show on Fox 5?
24 Legacy?
Yes. Remember it was remember you had 24 and then you had 24 Legacy.
Well, no, I couldn't say I am familiar with that, bro. Nope.
Okay, so let me show you this. Do you remember that show? You don't remember that show?
Never watched it. I recall that show now, looking at the with your screen sharing, but no, I've never watched that show. A time in my life came to where I really didn't watch a lot of television like that. So a lot of these new shows, I'm not familiar with them. So, nope.
Well, I'm gonna prove that nothing has changed. Okay, nothing has changed. Now, this show was a really good show. This was the Up to Date 24, when you have actually a brother. Now, you remember that brother? He was in that movie. He played Dr. Dre, Straight Outta Compton.
Right.
Right. He was in. So they gave him his own show. Good show. I enjoyed it, but they decided they wasn't going to continue it. You know what I'm saying? And I already know why they wasn't going to continue it, because they didn't like to see black people together. They didn't like to see black people fighting. They didn't like to see black people kicking ass. They didn't like to see a black couple coming together and kicking ass. Right? And I'm going to show you a clip of what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm going to show you a clip. You see this? Brother Craig, you see this
Oh yeah,
video?
yeah. Your screen shares are working, bro. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna play you this is a short clip of what I'm talking about.
That's Chattel. Where is it? Outside. Back inside, someone is in the house.
Now that was just a short clip of what I'm talking about, of black people, black couples sticking together, right? Now that's supposed to be his wife. That was his wife. You see what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing to see these couples together. A sister and a brother, a black man, black woman coming together, fighting together. You see black love there. You know what I'm saying? I like to see that. But because for some apparent reason, they didn't like that. White people didn't like it. You had probably some swirling Negroes didn't like it. It was too much of black power, right? But of course, they canceled the show. They canceled the show. This was my fucking show. I enjoyed the show. They canceled the show. But as you can see, you have The Walking Dead, where you have Michonne, who in the comic book, she didn't, in the comic book, she didn't like white guys. She only loved brothers. And I'm going to show you something. You see how you see this is where the separation started to happen. Now, of course, this was too powerful to see. So of course they canceled the show. They didn't want to do a second season. But the whole season was good. I enjoyed it. Right? So we look at The Walking Dead. This is the comic book of The Walking Dead. Now, as you can see, that's supposed to have been Morgan, and that's Michonne, right? Now, according to the comic book, in the story of Michonne was with she had a black family, and she lost her family. She lost her sons with the zombie apocalypse. So she was by herself, and when she met up with Morgan, she fell in love with him, right? So this is in a comic book of black love, black man, black woman. But when it comes down to white power, that didn't fly. They didn't accept that. So now they have to separate the black man and black woman. And now, because this was too strong, and I want to see that. I want to see black people kicking ass. I want to see the black man and black woman kicking ass, right? And they knew that. And that's supposed to have been Morgan on the show. That's Michonne. And they even said if Morgan and Michonne were a couple, they would be unstoppable. That's true. And as you could saw in 24 Legacy, a black man and black woman sticking together, man, that's no joke. And you saw that how if we work together, we become unstoppable. If we unite, we become unstoppable. And this will be, and I'm gonna be honest with you, they didn't have these guys together. They didn't have Morgan and Michonne together. I didn't like that. So of course, that was too powerful to put these two together. And of course, they have Morgan lead the show. Now he's in the Fear of the Walking Dead. And Michonne, because she didn't have a black mate, they have her with Rick. Right? Now you starting to see how they separate the black man and black woman. No different what they did to us in slavery. And then you have this. So you see the separation. You see the nothing has changed where as far as they separating the black man and black woman. Right? So it's very disgusting where I want to see more of black people sticking together and being black couples being in these movies, kicking ass, Now I don't even want to watch The Walking. I wish they end the show. I really want them to end the show because this is, after seeing this, it was just like it's unrealistic, because if you know the history of Michonne did not go that way. Then we talking about Empire with this dude, right? Now he's part of the whole white power structure, Lee Daniels. Does everybody know who Lee Daniels is? He's a director of Empire, and he's a homosexual. And I noticed he's promoting more of black males engaging in homosexual activity on the show. To me, the show is very inappropriate. And he's doing this knowing that there's young teenagers watching the show. Of course, there's a separation. You see the black man separating from his black woman, engaging into a homosexual lifestyle, which again, you show this. Okay? This is what white power does. Separating the black man from his woman and vice versa. You know. And I want to show that nothing has changed here in America. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So I want to show people that, you know, the what's going on, where the power of how the media is now taking on that psychological slavery now, where that they don't want to see black power. They don't want to see black unity. They don't want to see the unity between the black woman and black man coming together. And that's a threat. That's a problem. That's a problem. You know, and we have to fight against that, man. It's a very disgusting, you know, and like I had to sit back and I'm just be like, God damn, man, like this is crazy. This is crazy, man. Like, you know, they showing a lot of all this swirling and all this, you know, homosexual all about with black people in it, you know, and no one's not saying nothing about it. Everybody's comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it. You cancel a show because you feel it was too much of a threat to see a real black couple, The sister didn't look mixed. In 24 Legacy, she didn't look mixed. She wasn't white. Now, if she was a white woman that the brother married, they would have continued the show. But because you had a real black couple that had each other's back, that became a problem. That became a problem. So, Craig, what is your thoughts of what you've seen so far, brother?
Well, I mean, you know, what I see so far is just, I mean, you know, we are at the point, man. The black family has become a list of endangered species. And one thing that is very, very threatening to to white power is black unity. So what is happening today? You know, the white man, you know, the Jews and stuff like that, those who control, you know, the mass media outlets, what they're doing is you know, try to put it into the subconscious mind of black people. You know, since we are such of a threat, you know, black people are a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
White people wouldn't even be able to survive. You know, they have to, you know, they leech off of I mean, you know, they're a scavenger race.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is the white man uses, you know, things like this, like the propaganda, like what you showed. It's no longer about, you know, promoting black on black love, you know, black families, a black household, black woman and man coming together, you know, raising up a black child. You know, right now it's just all about, I mean, it's just a propaganda technique, is what it is. It's just propaganda to put it into the minds, you know, of the black youth that, you know, those death styles, homosexuality, interracial relationships, that those death styles, you know, are something that, you know, they should look up to, that they should accept. I'm sorry. So now, you know, since we don't control the media, you know, we don't control the magazines, you know, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that there's no black film directors or there's no black publishers or whatever the case may be. But what I'm saying is, if we look at the mass media, like just like what you're saying, how they took something, from out of a comic book. I'm not that familiar with the comic book, but I've heard of The Walking Dead. But what I'm saying, if you're making the statement that this was a black couple, and from there, they just totally removed the black man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Sure
yeah, they just totally removed the black man, and they want to put us like in a they want our women to look at us. That's why do you think the promotion of the homosexuality is so prevalent in today's media? Because what they're trying to do, the black woman, man, she is, I mean, white people, they know the strength of the black woman.
Mm-hmm.
They know the strength of the black woman, the power that she possesses, and how the black woman can birth the army. She can birth the army that will eventually, defeat racism and white supremacy. So the white man, knowing this, knowing his days are numbered,
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to put it into the minds, of little, black girls that, it's okay for black men to kiss each other. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay if you get married to a Caucasoid. These
Right.
things are okay
Right.
because they understand, like, what I'm saying, bro, like just basically to sum it up in a nutshell, they understand the power that lies between the black woman's legs and how, she is able to give birth one day to that black messiah that will come up with the one plan that we as a group of people will need to, end white supremacy once and for all. So through the propaganda campaign, they're trying to put it into the minds of black people that, it's okay to be a freak. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to, I mean, we should accept that up in our household. Just imagine what the youth growing up and they see that picture that you just posted, the two black men kissing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think that's going to do to the subconscious mind of a, little black child? So yeah, we definitely have to fight against, this propaganda campaign.
It's pure racism. Let's call it for what it that is pure racism. And for them to take because The Walking Dead supposedly was from a comic book. And for them to take, like you said, they take the black man out, they're not following the comic book. Why would they take that? Now, Rick, he's been with a lot of his women, but why he had to take our women? Now, Morgan, he was going through, in the show, he was going through a lot of psychological issues. He was lonely, and they did not give him a mate of his own. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of messed up where he didn't have his own women. And when I'm talking about own women, I'm talking about his women. And they didn't give him Michonne. Michonne don't go that way. She wasn't into white men, according to the comic book. But but because of the white man's racism and the separation since slavery, he decided to take, separate Michonne from him and removed the black man. And I'm looking at and I'm questioning this. And people say, well, it's just entertainment. No, it's not. We have to analyze these shows. Like the Black Lightning, how the daughter, beautiful sister, beautiful woman, but she made her a lesbian. And not and the messed up thing about it, they gave her a white woman or a yellow woman to be her lesbian mate. And she's another one supposed to be revolutionary. She's supposed to be fighting the injustice of black people, but number one, she's in the interracial relationship and she's a lesbian. So that's two contradictories right there. Again, they're separating the black man and black woman. You know what I mean? But 24 Legacy, they show a beautiful black couple and they fighting and they shooting the enemy. They killing these motherfuckers. But that was too much of a threat. So what they did, they said, no, we got to cancel the show. And they're going to lie, Craig. They lied and said the ratings is not. So this is the cover up. This is what they're saying. Though, well, it's not getting enough ratings. It's not getting enough ratings. No, I just think that it was because of white. I want to say white supremacy, but the white powers of be that say, oh no, that's too much a threat. You can't have that. So let's cancel the show. Can't have a black man and black woman fighting to, uniting and fighting against and killing us. No, we can't have that. We can't have that. So we'll cancel the show, but we'll support The Walking Dead and separate Morgan and Michonne and we'll kick him out the show, and let's have Michonne with Rick, right? And they'll keep and that's what they're doing. They kept pumping this interracial scenes, these so-called love scenes. To me, that's not love. That's not love. I know what love is. Love when you be with your own identity, your reflection. When they look in the mirror, you be like, damn, I love myself. I look good. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna get with somebody that resembles you. That's the law of nature. But when it comes down to when it comes down to racism, in media now, they separating our people. Nothing has changed. And I want to see nothing has changed. And you see how they used to separate our families during chattel slavery. This is another form of chattel slavery and through media now. This is what I see. So they're going to have the strongest brother and they're going to feminize him. Or they're going to take the strongest black man in the empire, and where you thinking, oh, this look like a straight brother, but they have him being this strong brother to another dude, and I'm like, whoa. And Lee Daniels, he's basically a white man in a black face. So they take one our own and say, well, they know how to take one our own who love white folks, who love white power, and they said, okay, you do the show. This is the reason why they have a homosexual to do the show, because the shit that I've seen on Empire to me is inappropriate. I'll just be like, damn, I can't believe they even have this on fucking Fox 5. Like, how? Like, how are they allowing this sick shit on national TV? They're not even hiding nothing no more. You don't even see black love in Empire. You don't see it. You don't see it. So I don't see no black love in it. I don't see it. I don't see an empire. I see a dysfunctional family. So it's a very I see like chattel slavery still exists. Chattel slavery still exists. Now they doing it through media. They do it through media. Like, I'm just looking at this shit like, damn, like, I'm not stupid. Like, I know this is some racist shit. This is some really racist shit. I'm like disgusted, man. Like, every time I watch these shows, you gotta look deeper. You know what I mean? Like, this is some real shit. You know, we have to understand. We have to see through the bullshit as black people, and we have to call it out. We gotta. Sometimes we gotta call it out. You know, you gotta get in touch. We gotta send emails, write letters, and let them know. No, enough is enough. We will no longer watch your show, and because what you're doing is racism. It's chattel slavery through media. You're separating our people all over again. It's the same shit, same thing. So I don't know, Kirk. It's really it bothers me, man. It really does. And no one. I don't know. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed the chattel slavery through media? Like, have you?
Yeah, my thing is, once I became like somewhat aware of, my surroundings and what was going on as far as like with the propaganda in the media, I got to a point to where I stopped, watching like television shows as
Mm,
much as I used to. But the only thing that I could say is, well, um, first of all, I would say that media really doesn't influence me a lot because I barely watch television shows. Like if it's a movie that I really want to check out or something like that, I will. I like sports. I watch sports.
mhm.
And sometimes like reality television. I like reality TV. But
Right.
as far as just like just all of this, this foolishness, man, that's going on, no, because I try not to because that stuff will indoctrinate you over time, even though you may not see it, but
Hmm.
it puts a message inside of your subconscious mind,
It sure does.
so it's very dangerous. Only thing that I could do up to this point, because, unless we could get some type of control, is I would just suggest that, we lay off of, some of these television shows, at least don't let our kids, be indoctrinated by that foolishness, or pay close attention to, the programs that your children watch.
Hmm.
Because you don't want that homosexual interracial agenda, being pushed on your children. So, that's the only thing that I would like to, could suggest, because sometimes, man, we just don't understand, how mental conditioning really works. It becomes like a form of hypnotizing, you know.
Right. But it's easy said and done. I just think that it should be. They should call it. They should call these producers and directors out. People. They should be called out. That's one thing. White people, when they don't like something, they write letters. They'll make a big complaint about it. You know, and sooner or later it will get exposed. I think more black people need to get involved and say, look, you know what? Enough is enough. This is the reason why I decided to do this program, because I want this to be out. I want them to see the fuckery. I want them to see people, like shows like Empire and The Walking Dead, how they separating black people. They're separating, and it's becoming dangerous, because now it become a psychological chattel slavery. Chattel slavery used to be physical. They used to literally take, you know, but purchase us and take us away from our family. The families literally used to be broken, torn apart. And we're family oriented people. So when you see this stuff like 24 Legacy, where you see a black couple actually, fighting together and fighting against the enemy, because that's what you saw. You didn't see them killing anybody black. You saw killing people. You saw them killing non-black people, and that scares white folks, and they don't want to see that. They don't want to see, because we already know we are in a racially tensioned country. So they don't want to show that. Oh, well, you know, that give black people ideas. So what they do is that they quietly cancel the show. They make up this bullshit lie talking about, well, it's not getting enough ratings. That's not true. I watched the show. I know a lot of people watched the show. I thought it was a good show. It was a lot of action. And I like to see a brother loving his beautiful black wife. I love to see it. I like to see that. But if she was a mulatto or if she was a white woman, that show would have kept continuing it to this day. This is the reason why The Walking Dead is still still aired. It's still airing. I don't even like watching the show no more. I don't, it's disgusting. You know, it's really disgusting. And where they take the black man out like that, I'm just like, wow. You know, it's just, you know, it's very disturbing that nothing has changed. Nothing's changed. So you know, I'm calling these people out. I'm calling the directors and the producers or whatever on The Walking Dead. I'm calling Empire out, Lee Daniels. I'm calling his punk ass out. You know, I know what you're doing. You're separating black families. You're separating. You taking the best looking brother and you have him hook. You have him make him a homosexual. You know, look, the Black Lightning. You taking a beautiful sister and you making her a lesbian, and a swirling lesbian at that. They have to be called out, Craig. These people have to be called out. I urge black folks, if you know what I'm talking about, send these motherfuckers like bombard them with letters, emails, whatever you have to do, and to cancel that shit. Cancel it. Because it's because chattel slavery is still exists. Nothing has changed. I see it. You know, we have to let them know you're no longer going to separate our families no more. You're no longer going to separate black people no more. And we have to start making our own shows or making demands, saying, look, you know, this is where this is going to be. If you need me, this is what's going to be. This is how it is. Especially if you already made a name on yourself. I'll urge black people, if you're going to decide, if you're an actor, if you're going to decide to make these shows, you know, don't go by what they tell you they want you to be. Say no. I don't want to be the typical stereotype, because I know my family's looking at this. I know my people's looking at me. You know what I mean? So when would black people take a stand when they in the Hollywood, or they, you know, I don't understand, when would black people learn to take a stand? And we could sit there and we talk about the white man this and the white man that, but when are black people going to take action? Because they're separating black people all over again now through media. And to me, that's scary, because now teenagers is watching this, our kids are watching this, and they think it's okay. Now it's to the point where I don't want to be with a black woman, because the media told me, you know, it's okay. It's okay to be with a white woman. It's okay to be a homosexual. It's okay to swirl. And even the parents, Craig, is being indoctrinated. Because now, you know, you got young parents, you got young grandmothers, and they think it's cool. They think it's cool. And everybody know these people. Now, reality, you know, Rick, you know, he'll treat Michonne like some mammy. Everybody know how they get down. There's no love in that. I've seen interracial relations where I've seen, look Matter of fact, Craig, have you heard about Robert De Niro?
What about him?
He's his wife is divorcing his ass. His black wife. And they only been together for 20 years. And now they've been separated before that time. So something happened where she got a wake-up call. Something happened where she got a wake-up call. She's like, yo, I don't want to be with this white dude no more. I don't care how famous he is or how much money he got. They got kids and all that, but she got a wake-up call. So after 20 years of marriage, they've been separated before that time. You know what I mean? So that's just crazy where, you know, it don't work. Interracial relationships don't work. But media would tell you, oh, it does work. See? Look at Michonne and Rick. They love each other. They can't, it's bullshit. It's not normal. It's not natural. It's not natural. But if you check out the Legacy, 24 Legacy, you see the natural bond between the black man and black woman. You see it. You see it. It's natural. You see the connection. But that's too powerful. Black love is too powerful. Black love is too powerful, and it's wow. It's scary when you look at it. It's scary when you look at it where people are threatened by black love. We can't love each other. Damn. We ain't threatened by yellow love or white love or red love. We ain't threatened by that shit. But damn, you're gonna be threatened by black love in the media? We can't love our women, but then you have the straightest looking black brother with another dude, or the straightest looking sister with another woman. My question is, when are we going to take a stand and say enough is enough? I'm taking a stand right now. This is the reason why I'm doing this live. I'm taking a stand right now. Enough is enough. I'm tired of looking at that shit. I wish more black people would stand up, start writing these letters to fucking the people from, write those letters to Lee Daniels. Tell him to stop doing that shit. You know, write those letters to the Walking Dead. Tell them that it's not right. What they doing is not right. Tell them they know it's because it's all about racism and white power. That's all it is. You see enough white people together, and no one says nothing. You see yellow people together, no one says nothing. Black people come together, oh my God. That's an insult. I don't know, man. It's scary now that you think about it. It's very scary. So, Craig, what do you think do you think that we should start going after these directors and the production companies and stuff like that? Do you think that's what we need to start doing and demanding some black love? And if they're going to show it, and do you think that it should be and threaten them to promote black love, and if they don't do it, then they will be exposed through media, through social media and stuff like that? Do you think that we should threaten them if they don't put them in it?
I don't know, because man, it's a difficult question, Man, I really have to think about that. That's a difficult question for me to answer because I don't, like I was telling you, I don't watch a lot of media as it is. But one thing that I will say is that, for the love of money, because, it could stop tomorrow.
Hmm.
Um, it has to be known. We make up a small segment of the people who even watch television, but it has to be. This is why it goes back to for the love of money. It could end tomorrow if these actors refuse to take on these roles.
Hmm.
All of that could end tomorrow. But at the same time, I mean, when a multi-million dollar Negro, people, I don't know. It's a tough one, man. I mean, we have to do, like you say, everything in our power, to just let these people know that, they're going to lose our support,
Hmm.
so, but man, I just don't want us as a people to overlook, who it is that we're dealing with
Hmm.
because, you know,
Because chattel slavery is still real, man. It's still, we are still in chattel slavery again. The
exactly.
sad part about our people is participating in shit. That's the problem, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's just it worries me because we talk about how can we talking about being liberated and stuff like that, but then we don't really take a stand about stuff, little things like this. We don't even take a stand and say, "Look, I don't want to be with this white guy on the show." If the comic book say I'm supposed to be with a black man, let me be with a black man, or let me be with a black woman.
Man, these people only care about paychecks though, bro. I mean, let's just keep it real.
But I
Most people
understand.
most people who get into acting don't get into acting for those type of reasons. They get into acting to become famous, to make money and become a celebrity. They don't get into acting to try to, do what somebody else want. Bro, they get into acting to become a celebrity. So we got to keep that into perspective as well too, you know.
I can understand that. But damn, you had to do you have to lose your dignity to do it? I mean, then because what happened, we'll still be singing that same old song. You see what I'm saying? So I understand that we all need money, but we also have our dignity too. We live in a racial attention, a racist where they cancel a show about they cancel a black love show. But then it's okay, and they can make the same, and they was making the same type of money, And I know I think the brother was pissed when they canceled the show. So it's like, where's your dignity? You see the racism going on, and none of them ain't putting their foot down and say, "Hey, nah, man." Because my thing is like this: if you're gonna follow a comic book, follow the comic book. That's how I look at it. Follow the comic book. Now I'm looking at the show. Rick had his multiple white women. He's a white man. He's supposed to be with his own. But then when he decide his woman keeps dying, they gave him a shown. Okay, here's a black woman. Because the white women were considered weak. They wasn't fighters. They kept dying. So you're gonna get the strongest black woman, with the black man need. We need a strong black woman. Oh, but just no, you can't have that because every time they show the black man, he's dying. He's getting killed.
Okay, remember this though. Remember back in the 80s, we talked about this before. The way media, as far as like television, remember it was not a lot of promotion of interracial stuff in the media
Right.
back in the 80s and 90s. Okay, because this is where the people's minds was at. Black people wasn't accepting that on those type of levels back then. But now media is moving to where this is how black people, like I'm saying, far too many now. You know how homosexuality is becoming so acceptable and so prevalent. You know, that wasn't acceptable back in the the early 90s. But
That's
now
true.
it is. So media, like these television shows, some of that reflects where the people's interests are. Like when you see
Mhm.
all of these interracial couples and stuff like that, um, a lot of those actors probably are in real interracial relationships as it is. They support that stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. And I'm glad you mentioned that because between the 80s and 90s, you see like I'll give you a perfect example. I was watching this maybe that show The Small Wonder, not Small Wonder, yeah, The Small Wonder with the talking robot Vicky. It was a white show, right? And a white kid had a black friend called Reggie. Did you remember? I don't know if you're familiar with the show, correct?
You said, could you run that by me one more time, bro?
It's a show called Small Wonder.
Small wonder. What was it about?
It was about the talking robot. She was called Vicky.
Wow, that sounds, man, that sounds so
Very
familiar.
very popular show. It's
It sounds so familiar.
And the white kid, he had a black friend called Reggie.
Okay. Okay.
And he was one of those so cool brothers, you know.
Right, right.
And then, but I liked about the show because when every time they showed his mate, she was a black girl. And he would talk to her like any other brother would talk to her. He was like, hey, what's up, foxy lady? Because this is how we talk to our women. Our women can relate. We call them foxy. We call them, what's up, boo? How you doing? Yo, what's up? We smooth talkers to our women because women like that stuff. We're not corny people. And so when every time you always see, and it doesn't matter how much white people are around, you start seeing, you start seeing, uh, you know, that kid is going to have his mate that looks like him. It's a reflection of him. I like that stuff. Remember the original Power Rangers back in the day. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Remember the Black Ranger, Zach?
Okay, yes, sir. Yep.
And remember and how were his women looking? Maybe he was a revolutionary because he had the Malcolm X jacket. I don't know if you remember. And I was like, yo, this guy, you know what I'm saying? This guy is a revolutionary, you know what I'm saying? And he was always chasing after his sister.
Right.
I forgot the sister's name, but he was just like, oh, and I was like, wow. And he was around a lot of white women, but when it came down to his own, he knows, hey, I got to be with my own. You know what I mean? And he was another smooth talker. You know what I'm saying? So I miss those type of shows like that, where that you see your own and you can see them talking to a girl that we all can relate to as
Yeah,
black people.
those are different times. Remember, even back in them days, Michael Jordan was married to. He wasn't, he was married to a black woman or whatever. Juanita
Right.
Jordan. Things were different back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
What did you?
O.J. Simpson was married to a sister.
Yeah, So, but today, let's fast forward it. To this time period that we in, man, this stuff is just so prevalent. I mean, it's being accepted. Black people have come up, and this is what I'm trying to get down to understanding what came into black people's mind. Like you just said, O.J. Simpson was married to a black woman. We know Michael Jordan was married to a black woman. That stuff wasn't just heavily
Mike
promoted.
Tyson.
Yeah, that stuff wasn't. Yeah, Mike Tyson. It was not just heavily promoted, like even amongst rich black people.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Like what came in the minds of black people to just want to go on this mass interracial and homosexual campaign that they're on today?
I mean, brother, you hit it right on the button. It's like you said, it's money. I mean, even during chattel slavery, it was about money. If I could family, I could make money. I could make money separating the black child from the mother, the black man from his wife. It's all about money. And you see that through media now. They doing it through media because it's always white people never liked that shit. They never liked it. They didn't like to see black people because it was too much of a threat. They never liked it. Even back in the 80s and 90s, they never liked it because black people was more demanding then, Greg. They said, look, I want to be with my own. If I'm going to do this show, I'm going to be with my own.
Right. Right.
Now they selling out. Now they selling out. There's no demanding now. And now the white people are telling black people, well, you know, you can make more money if you just not be with your own, if you just be with this white guy, and you know, we'll give you a little bonus on the side. So it's all about money. But they're separating black people where what now psychologically a young cat will look at it like, oh shit, then maybe that's what I need to do. You know, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe, you know, and they show the white woman be all loving and caring and vice versa. They show Rick being this loving white man.
That's right.
And I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Now,
But
okay, I got a question for you next. But I mean,
go ahead, brother, go ahead.
Okay. You had touched on this on a show we did a little while back. All right, and now we see the outcome. This also ties along when we talk about the transformation of media, because you know, if we look, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, you didn't see like a lot of white people trying to get into hip hop and, you know, just totally steal our culture. Remember, you had talked about that one fruitcake, that Takashi 6ix9ine or something
Right.
like that, Skittles or whatever, I forgot. But man, what's your thoughts on what's happening to that cat? I mean, I'm saying that this ties into the media thing because remember you had did a video about him before he had got caught up into this, you know, last incident or whatever.
Well, my thoughts were he got what he deserved. You know, he said, now he's saying that he was pretending to be gangster and to be a thug, you know, just to make money. And I'm glad you brought that about hip hop, because you start see that with hip hop too, which it ties in of this with the media, because they promoting videos where you see a lot of black men with non-black women. You see what I'm saying? And even vice versa at the same time. So back in the days, back when we was growing up, you saw black people having fun, doing videos in their neighborhood with their women. When sisters would rap, they would show real brothers. You saw that. So we can have something that we can relate to. And that we can say, yo, that's what the type of woman I want. That's the type of man that I want. You don't see that no more. So you see, again, you see the chattel slavery all over again, because it becomes a money maker. When you separate black families and you separate black people, you become rich. You become rich. And you see that in these videos now. You see that in these shows now that we're watching, that you see the chattel slavery rebirthing all over again. That's the reason why it's very important we have to do this video, because I'm going to call this out. I'm calling them out because I don't like it. I don't like this. And it becomes very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing. And no one talks about this. So all this, remember, if we're going to talk about liberation, this is liberation. I'm trying to liberate myself from what I'm saying. I'm calling these people out. Let them know enough is enough. These rappers, they don't control shit. They don't run nothing, because they're not putting up no money. Black people back then, they was putting up money. So they had more control of the music. They had more control of their music. So they made demands. They said, look, when I make my video, this is the type of women I want. I want sisters from the neighborhood. I want sisters that I can relate to. But since they ain't putting no money because it became a multi-billion, a billion industry. You know, you know, they're not calling the shots. Black people are not calling the shots no more. They're not calling the shots. And see, you have to understand too, Craig, that when you look at the Jeffersons and you look at, you know, shows like Good Times and all that, you have more black people on hand on these shows. You have more black directors that was about black families and stuff like that, especially during the 70s and 80s, and even in the 90s as well. So you have more black people on hands with this stuff. But now you have more white directors, and now they're saying, hey, no more. We don't want to see no more black couples no more. We don't want, that's too powerful for us. So their mission is to water down who we are as a people. We are, and then black people, we sit there and we just accept it. We don't say nothing about it. And that's another form of chattel, American, typical chattel slavery all over again. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. So, you know, it's sad. Now you got these white rappers like Machine Gun Kelly and these guys, they want to act like us. And now you might see them with, you know, like that guy John B and all that, all these singers, they trying to mimic us so they can get our women. You know, and then now they want to be the new black men. They want to be the new black man. They trying to take our style, use our words, mimic us. And why they feminize our people and put out a lot of self-hate in our people, they come up as this fucking savior. The white women would do it too. They come up as this savior. And we see it all over again. Even doing chattel slavery, it was the same thing. Same thing. Nothing has changed. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm tired of it. You know, and just because we're in a new millennium doesn't mean shit. It's all bullshit. It's not natural. It's not natural. So we talk about liberation. We talk about having black pride and all this other stuff. But we see what the white media is trying to do. We see it. And our kids are looking at this shit. So when you see a black kid, you know, walking down the street, you know, most likely is not, you know, he have a girlfriend, you know, she's gonna be non-black. She's gonna be a non-black chick. And they'll tell you, well, this is 2000 and you know, whatever, and we still can't think like that no more. We can't think like that no more. You know, everybody's fucking human. I mean, get the fuck out of here. So it's scary, man. It's just, we live in some scary times where that white media now is have got control of our people, where they're making the demands now. They're saying, hey, you know what? We'll pay you if you want this job. We'll pay you, but we're gonna dictate who you're gonna be with, or who you're gonna lay up with, or who you're gonna kiss on these shows or on the music industry. We're gonna dictate all that, and most likely, it's not gonna be with your own. So, because their agenda is to brainwash our people, to separate our people. That's their goal. And it's always been their fucking goal. This is something they always want to do. You know, and all this started ever since Barack Obama became president, because he's a mulatto. You know, say, well, if you could be a mulatto, well, as long as enough mulattoes come together, hey, y'all could be presidents too. How many times we tell our kids, our black kids, say, hey, you know what? You could be president of the United States. And none of our children, none of all these black people, all these people never became president. They ran, but they never became president. But a mulatto can. A white and a mulatto can. But a black person can never be president. That should tell you, Craig, that should tell you something, man. That should tell you how fucked up America is.
Yeah, that sends out a hell of a message. You're right. That the greatest, it just shows. I mean, what it teaches and conditions black people is to showing that, you know, the highest position ever held in this country was by someone who was the product of an interracial relationship. So, you know, it teaches us, I mean, it wasn't even a strong, you know, black man who won. But, you know, mulatto is being defined as, you know, the new black. You know, it's the new black today. Homosexual, gay is the new black. It's the man, bro. I hate to say it, but remember you was talking. What's that perpetrator Ghazi? Oh my God, I can't.
Oh yeah, Ghazi, yeah.
Yeah, fag is trying to become the new RBG. I mean, man, I hate to say it. Yeah, mulatto's the new black. Lesbians the new black woman. And wow, you gotta do is like Ghazi and, you know, these hijackers, these RBG hijackers, you know, that's trying to, man, wow.
And these are the plants.
Yeah.
These people are white people's creation. Like I said before, I tell black people, pay attention to what's going on here. Because in order to be liberated, you gotta be conscious of what's going on. You gotta look at the media. Now, we talk about Farrakhan, and look where he's going. He got caught up in that shit. Now, LGBT, that's his brothers and sisters. Now you got white Latinos joining in. Wait a minute, that's supposed to be a black organization. And I know that if Elijah Muhammad was still alive, he would not accept that. So he bought into that bullshit. He bought into that. So he becomes the enemy as well. Farrakhan becomes the enemy as well. So we have to understand what's going on. Lee Daniels, he's the enemy. These people don't give a fuck about black people. They don't. We already know what we already know what they do. So they are part, and even during slavery, Craig, you have black people participating into slavery, and oppressing their own people. And we see that today. So, you know, I'm just tired of it, man. It's very annoying when we see this evilness going around, but we keep a hush. Everything is, oh, but they're black, and that's all. No, and like you got black people, Brother Craig, how they worship this mulatto chick who married that prince in London. What's her name? Do you know her name?
Yeah, you talking about Meghan Markle?
Yeah. And black women embracing this bitch like, oh my God, it's a black woman. And she's a mulatto.
Right.
He's a mulatto. Mulatto get first dibs. She's not black. And matter of fact, even if she was all sister, doesn't make it right that she's with this white man who's a prince. What about, there's a lot of princes and kings in Africa, but they promoting this like this is a beautiful thing. That's not a, to me, that's not beautiful. Show the African prince in Africa that's with their own people. Show that shit. Do you see the separation? Separating us. They rather show mulattoes in power. That's separation. Same thing doing slavery. The mulattoes, they had it good. They didn't work in the fields. It's no difference. Same shit, different times. Same shit, different times, brother. So America was built on this. And they're using, Brother Craig, technology to do it. This is what they're doing. They're using technology to bring back chattel slavery. And they did. They're doing it. So we have to understand that nothing's changed. And we are at war with this shit. We are at war. And those that participate in this chattel slavery media should be dealt with. It should be dealt with. People that supposedly look like us, should be dealt with. You know, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable, because you see the racism, you see the oppression, and no one says nothing. No one, no one's ever say, hey, don't put that out there. That's enough is enough. We don't want to see that. And these are so poor. And I'm surprised black people is the most religious people. I'm very surprised. Black people are supposed to be the most religious people. You got the black Muslims and black Christians, and they not saying nothing. That should, you're correct. They should be outraged. They should be outraged.
Yeah, but look at what religion, teaches. Religion, teaches, turn the other cheek. That we are just, are all part of one human family. So I think religion is one of the biggest contributors to this type of mindset.
That's true too. You're right about that, and I've seen that. We have this. We all, like you said, we all one race, and we all should love each other type of mentality. But at the same time, they see the evilness that's going around them. And my thing is like this: what the fuck are y'all fighting? Y'all have no problem talking about it behind closed doors, but y'all don't want to confront it. If you're a Christian, why would you allow empire why would you sit there and watch Empire if you're a Christian? And you see a lot of degeneracy in that, a lot of evilness that's going on, and you're watching this as a Christian. And you talking about you believe in Jesus and you believe in God or Allah. If you're a Muslim, why would you allow this? Why would you? Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage? I don't see the outrage. I don't see the outrage. Even when Barack Obama was in office and how he was pushing homosexuality, the Christians, they didn't give a shit. They didn't care. They didn't care what he was doing. So that just shows me that religious people are full of shit. All religious people are they're full of shit. Because you see what's going on and you don't have the balls to address it. You ain't fighting for shit. And I tell any religious people that. People from the Nation of Islam, you're full of shit too. Because you see, you supposed to say you love black people, but you see what's going on around you and you don't fucking address it. You don't address it. Shouldn't that be no swirling in no nation of Islam? Should have went up to say, like, hey, Farrakhan, no, we ain't accepting this. These Latinos ain't coming up in here. But of course, if they're not doing it already, and I think they are, the black woman's gonna be pushed out. The separation. You know, a black man, oh, a fine Latino woman, I'm gonna get with her. Black woman, she see a fine Latino man, I'm gonna get with him. The separation. There's no black unity in that. We can't survive without one another. We can't. But Farrakhan and people like him, like Lee Daniels, Farrakhan, all these people are for black separation. They're all part of the chattel slavery, supporting the enemy. Enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. I'm not for it. So, Brother Craig, what is your thoughts on religious people are not stepping up? What is your thoughts on that? I'm talking about the pro-black religious people like the Israelites. They're not saying nothing about this. They're not saying, yo, I see what's going on. We're gonna start writing letters. We need to start banding together to protect our salvation as black people. No, they're not doing that. Why do you think that? Why do you think they're not doing it?
You mean regarding like, oh man, we got a bad echo. Bad echo. I can't even hear myself talk.
You sound fine, brother. You sound fine to me.
Nah, but it's echoing so bad. Okay, there it go. It just stopped. All right. The question again is like you say these pro-black religious groups. I'm trying to the Hebrew Israelites, for an example.
These are Israelites, the Nation of Islams.
Okay, Nation of Islam.
Why is these pro-black religious fanatics don't step up and take, you know, and start attacking these shows that's separating our people?
You know what?
Or even a music industry, where you see a lot of separating and say, hey, enough is enough. Why is that? You know, because they talk a good game, but their action don't fit to it. And matter of fact, brother, they don't even address it on social media.
Yeah. Man, here we go. Here's the thing. First of all, you know, I've never been a member of the Hebrew Israelites or the Nation of Islam, so I don't know, like, you know, amongst their congregation exactly what it is that they teach their members,
right?
As far as like concerning, I don't know how strict they are if they tell their members that. Well, one thing I would say about the Nation of Islam, you know, they do have their own newspaper, you know, the Final Call newspaper, and let me see, when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites, man, I don't know a lot about the Hebrew Israelites except for, you know, what I've learned off of YouTube, you know, like some of the old videos where they would get up on these little tables and stuff like that and just speak, you know, and curse people out as they come by and, you know, shout. And you know, Captain Tazariak, but you know, other than that, I don't know a lot about the Hebrew Israelites to be able to say, you know, what's their position on this. Man, I don't want to go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I mean, because you see a lot, you know, whether they're, you know, like I said, you know, we got all these religious black folks, and you would think they would make a name for themselves by attacking these white and movie and you know, just attacking these white devils that's separating our people on these shows like that, because it is a form of disrespect, and especially, you know, especially to a religious black person, is definitely a disrespect. And our people don't really step up and say, "Hey, man, enough is enough." And then you got these pro-blacks, religious fanatics. They ain't stepping up. They're not encouraging black people, hey, to write letters. You know, we're gonna do this. Enough is enough. We tired of seeing this. We tired of seeing black lesbianism and the swirlings. We're tired of seeing it. We're gonna make it name. We're gonna make it known that you're not going to disrespect our people like that. You know, we're gonna shut it down. I never heard that. Have you seen anything like that? Have you seen people?
Well, that's a good question. All right. Now I've seen like this is all off of YouTube. Okay. I've seen some Hebrew Israelites, when how they get like up on their little platforms and
Right.
stuff. Yeah. Like, some of the videos I've seen them talk, against what was going on as far as like some of these agendas. But man, maybe they don't have the power. I don't know. That's a good question.
I think that's what I think is fair.
Yeah.
I don't think it had nothing to do with power. I think it's fair.
Yeah.
If,
Okay.
if most of us start speaking it out, and start demanding shows where you see black people working together, the black man and black woman working together and fighting the enemy, then we could be more. That just shows that that shows more. That to me, that's progress. Because I see a lot of movies where you see the white man and white woman working together. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of that, but you don't see enough of our people. You don't see enough of our people, the black man, black woman, to work together. I want to see more of that. 24 Legacy was my show. I love that show. I love to see it. And the woman, the wife, she was a beautiful sister, and you rarely see a dark-skinned sister fighting along with her dark-skinned man. You rarely see that. But because it was too powerful and it was threatening, they decided to cancel the show. But you see Michonne, who's a dark-skinned woman, she couldn't get with it. They didn't want to give her a dark-skinned man, so they give her a white man. To me, that's I mean, you didn't put that in the comic book, so why would you leave that out? Why would you leave that out? Lee Daniels, come on, man. All these brothers, and then all of a sudden, you have these brothers talking, trying to talk to another dude like he's talking to a woman. Black Lightning, same thing, same thing. It's very disappointing, very disappointing. So like I said, it has to be called out. It has to be called out. I'm just tired of the fuckery that I see on these television shows, these movies, in the music that they call hip hop. I don't call it hip hop. I call it pop rap or mumble rap. Whatever. I call it mumble rap. That's what I don't even call it rap. I just call it mumble music. But you see a lot of these brothers with non-black women and vice versa. And they call it some sort of race relations progressing. And it's like, no, we have a hard time trying to unite with our own people, and then they're making it worse. You're making it worse through chattel slavery through the media. So I just want to let the people know we have to call out the media. We have to call out white media and let them know that chattel slavery will not be tolerated. What do you think, Craig? You think we need to start calling these white media out and let them know we know what the fuck we're doing?
Yes, sir. Yeah, give me just 1 second though. I gotta I'm just trying to hurry up and finish something off. And
Okay.
yeah, but save that question. Hold on to that question.
Okay.
Because I definitely want to talk about it, and maybe my answer might spark some more conversation, into this issue, man, because this is serious.
Yeah, it's very serious. It's
Give me
scary.
1 second, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, enough is enough, man. I'm just done with this, man. I'm done with this. Tired of watching our people being degraded, you know what I'm saying? Acting like, you know what I'm saying, there are no good black men and, good black women out here. I'm tired of that shit, man. Back in the days, every time we see a movie, it was always the pimps. And then that was in the, what, 70s? And then it was the drug dealers in the 90s, between the 80s and 90s. We had to go through that shit. So,
Okay, bro.
right.
So the question was,
The question I'm saying, do you think we should start calling out white media, start calling these motherfuckers out more, and let them know that we're not going to put up with this shit no more? You know what I mean? We're just not going to stand for it no more because I'm tired of looking at it. I'm just tired of, because look, I like Black Lightning. I like it. You're right. I'm a comic book fan. I like it, but I hate to watch a sister just doing some hypocrisy shit. Like you talking about you for this. Now I want to tell black people about liberation. If you're going to be about this, if you're going to be about the fist, if you're going to wave the RBG flag and the Black Power fist represent the black man and the unity of the black man and black woman and child. That's what it represents. You can't be for this, and if you take on the white man's behavior or the white people's behavior, you can't be into pedophilia or bestiality or homosexuality or that Greek and Rome stuff. But then you're gonna talk about, oh, I'm for my people. You can't be talking about swirling or in an organization where they condone swirling, but then you talking about for my people. It doesn't work that way. So we have to stop that. We have to stop that. And it's okay. We have to show that, hey, no, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I don't need to see that shit. I don't need to, and you look at Empire, you see a lot of this homosexual shit. But then you got black people, they supposed to be religious, and you supposed to be against this stuff, but y'all not saying nothing. But then you're like, well, we love everybody because Jesus accepted sinners. But then Jesus says, according to the story, he said we have to separate ourselves from the wicked. Right, Craig? Didn't Jesus say we have to separate ourselves from the wicked?
Yeah. Well, I don't, man.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm just saying. That's what he said. I mean, because I read the Bible. I grew up on the Bible too.
Yeah.
But that's what he said. But this is what I'm saying. There's a lot of confusion going around. And you got the Black Power people. They're not saying nothing about it. And you got the religious fanatics. They're not saying nothing. So I'm confused. But then when we talk about this stuff, it seemed like to me, we become the black sheep, so to speak. What is your thoughts?
Okay, give me just a second, bro. Okay. I actually had a question for you though. Okay, when you were talking about as far as like what would be considered standards, right? You were
Right.
saying standards about you can't like hold your fist up, pump your fist in the air,
Right.
and then be like pro integration or pro interracial marriage. With us, so divided, how do we even come to the point to where we can make that type of excuse me, man. I'm actually just eating a couple chips, but
Take your time. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
yeah, okay. All right. With we already know we're going through a civil war.
Right.
A
That's true.
civil war amongst black people,
Mhm.
based off of different political and ideological differences. So
Mhm. Mhm.
what I'm saying is, how do we set a definition of what it means to be pro-black, or what the RBG flag stands for? Because remember, we was talking about Ghazi Kodo, whatever his name is,
Mhm.
and it's black people that actually support these clowns.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
black people that support that clown. Even though he's poisoning what the red, black, and green colors are supposed to represent.
Mhm.
But he got a lot of supporters, and some of his number one supporters are black women.
Mhm.
With that being said, and then you got all of these people. You have so many black people with different definitions of what it means to be pro-black.
Mhm.
So with all of this, with us just so scattered, like we cannot come together, on one principle. How do you like? This is where it becomes confusing.
But like I said, it's and I can it's just it's that's a good point, because the power of the media, which I just presented to you earlier, it's making black people started to weaken their movements. They starting to become more acceptable to white power, and they are talking about, yeah, I'm for my people, but but they're separated. You can't. How? Why would any black woman want to join a homosexual man that hates women? He don't even want to touch a woman. Why would you want to join a lesbian who hates men? Don't even want to touch a man. That's not unity to me. The RBG it's represent Africa, of the colors of Africa, that represent the unity between the black man, black woman, and child. And it's so sad, where we've been through chattel slave, we've been through how we've been separated, and now you got black people are helping, or are helping and supporting separation. Black women that I was coming from, they dislike homosexual men. They wasn't for it. They said no, no, and vice versa. They guys didn't want to be in with no lesbian woman. They want real women. So it's black people that they helping this shit. They helping white power. They talk against white power, but they helping it. They support it. So I guess you and I, Craig, we're the weird ones that speak out against this. Same thing. No, nothing has changed, Craig. Nothing has changed. You got black people support it. I'll tell you this. When Nat Turner was killing white people for their freedom, Oh, what's up, brother? Brother Bakari's in the house.
Peace, man. I'm just getting in, getting off.
All
Peace
right,
to you, bro.
Peace,
peace.
peace.
Um, so I was saying, brother Craig,
Yes, sir.
that during slavery, when Nat Turner was kicking ass, killing white folks for their freedom, for his freedom, um, you have black people actually defending white folks. Like they actually was fighting other black people to defend their slave masters. So we're seeing this slavery all over again. Same shit, different times. Same shit, different times. So now we got to fight media with media. That's what we have to do. We have to fight media with media. Uh, Brother Bakari, what have you heard so far, Brother Bakari?
Oh, I heard a lot. I was driving. I heard a lot of different in and out because I was working,
Okay,
talking about the movie industry, the TV.
right. What is your thought about the chattel slavery in media?
Uh, Explain to me what you mean by child slavery and media. Do you mean about how they constantly show black woman with somebody else, black man with someone else?
Right. You start seeing the slave. I just because earlier I showed the show. I showed the physical chattel slavery where they physically separated us for money. Right. Everything was about money.
Yeah.
Right. Now we're in a new era. Now we're in a new age or era where child slavery is done through media. I showed the picture of the 24 Legacy. The show 24 Legacy. I don't know if you're familiar with the show.
No. What is 24 Legacy?
Well, the brother who did Dr. Dre, he did. He was in the. He was the. It was supposed to be like a new version of 24. The show 24, what used to
Oh,
come on Fox.
oh, okay.
I forgot the guy's name who did 24, the original guy. Um, I forgot his name.
You talking about the
Uh,
guy? Are you talking you
huh?
said Dr. Dre? Are you talking about the guy that played Dr. Dre in the movie?
Right, right. He was. It
Straight
was
out
in a
of Compton.
show. Right. He did
Okay.
the show called 24 Legacy, and we're doing a show. He was a fight against these terrorists. They were white folks, and you saw his wife, beautiful sister, and you see the unity how they was kicking ass against showing killing white folks.
Uh huh.
Because they went in this home, and he's a military man, and I don't know if his wife was military, but I think he taught her some skills how to defend, how to fight. So she know how to handle that gun too. So they showed the unity, but the show didn't last too long. So they said, well, we're not gonna continue the show.
Lasted one season, right?
Yes,
I heard about it. I never watched it.
I love the show. The show was good. It was a really good show.
Yeah.
So they lied and said, well, they wasn't getting enough rating. I don't know how true that was, but this is what the bullshit that they said. But when you watch The Walking Dead, in the comic book, Michonne, who was the girl with the samurai sword, she was supposedly with a brother named Morgan, right? And I was hoping to see Morgan and Michonne be together just like in the comic book, because it was based supposed to be in the comic book. But somebody decided that would be a strong image to see for black people. So we're going to separate them two. We're going to leave the black man out, and we're going to have Michonne with Rick, who is the white man, right?
Uh huh.
So while the black man, he's struggling, and he's messed up because he has no mate of his own, while Rick, he been with a lot of his women. So, and all them women were died out, they get killed. So they said, well, we're going to have him with a strong black woman and leave the black man out. So now you see a lot of this swirling in this Walking Dead. To me, I think they should just end the show from that point on.
It's been on a long time.
It's been on a long time.
It's been
Why?
on.
Why? Because they like to see the separation of the black man and black woman. So they're gonna continue it.
Yeah, you know
You
when
see, you see the Empire with Lee Daniels. He's a director. How he showed these brothers that get on these brothers that should be with sisters, and he make them homosexual.
yeah.
So again, you leave the black woman out. So what I'm saying, you start seeing chattel slavery all over again, all because of money. So the more separating black people, the more money people get.
Of
Same
course.
thing.
Yeah, they don't want to. They don't want to show us together. Look, when I heard that when you was talking about the movie, right? When I came home and I sat down, I'd hit you up on the thing on my phone. Is it too late to come on? And in the process of doing that, they showed this commercial about love, and they showed the white man with the white woman and the Asian or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then they look at the end. The ones who seem to be happier was the white man with the black woman.
Mm-hmm.
They putting it all over TV, and they're putting in our head that it's okay, but it's our job to teach our kids that it's not okay. Now, once your kids get grown, you can't tell them what not to do,
Right.
but it's up to us to teach our children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to teach our children. You know, I tell my son, you know, you love a black woman. Tell my daughter, you love a black man. It's up to us, because if we waiting on them to do anything progressive for us, we may as well go ahead and die. They have not done anything that's going to help us progress. And in all honesty, I say it's not their job. That's our job. It's our job to make sure we progress. It's our job to make sure we do better. It's our job to teach our kids black with black. That's up to us. They shouldn't do it. Why would your enemy give you something that's going to help you? Why would they help you with something that's going to help you uh, take from their power? They're not supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to keep you powerless. That's what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job to give us power. It's our job to speak truth to power. And, you know, and as much as our people on YouTube and TV and everywhere, because we most definitely speak truth to power when it comes to so-called white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I say white power because I just know that's just me, because I know the definition of supremacy. No one is superior to me.
Mm-hmm.
They have white power and they flex it,
Right.
and they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But like I heard you, but what are we gonna do? I don't worry about what they're gonna do no more. It's to the point of what we are gonna do.
Well, I just mentioned about that, how we should start writing letters to let them know how we feel, and let them know it's racism. It's
Yeah.
racism because they allow one or two black people on a show doesn't mean shit. Is the way they go about it. So because when white people don't like something, that's what they do. They write letters. They say that we don't like the show, and next thing you know, it gets exposed. You know, so if enough of us start attacking these shows and start writing comments and saying how degrading they are, and saying, hey, calling them out and say, hey, what you're doing is racist, I bet you they might start changing their tunes. You know, but because we got comfortable, because we because most of us like selling out, and we don't want to be liberated. You know, we don't say that. Even the most pro-blackish and the most religious black people don't say nothing.
No.
They don't do nothing about it.
No, they don't do anything about it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. No, they don't do anything about it. But it's up to us. If these shows bothering us, we have to not just write letters, start a movement.
Right. I agree.
Stop
I
watching.
agree.
So then once we can get our people to stop watching said shows, then your letters will be more effective, because now you're losing ratings.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So
That's true.
But as long as we watch, as long as we continue to watch it, As long as our people continue to watch it, there's no need for them to change it, because they're not making their people look bad. They're
Mm-hmm.
making our people look bad. And in the case of Lee Daniels, he's making black people look bad. Uh, that's a black shim,
Mm-hmm.
she, him, whatever,
Right. Right.
him, her. But he's making us look bad.
Mm-hmm.
He has never shown a black woman, and he's never shown a black woman in a good light in any,
No.
in any of his movies.
Mm-mm. And when they show a black when they show a brother and he's singing a music that it should be for to a black woman, he's singing to another dude.
Yeah,
And I just and I said, wow, you know, but then you have the dude, he's rapping and he's saying all this degrading shit about black women and all this other stuff. And this is like I said, Lee Daniels is a white man in blackface.
yeah.
That's all he is.
He got black skin, but he think with a white man brain.
Right,
He has a white heart.
right. So
I got a
he
question too, bro.
go ahead.
All right. I was watching, a show on Sonnet TV yesterday or whatever, and they were talking. He was talking about, and he mentioned about boycotting for Black Friday and why he said he was against that. And it kind of goes into what we're talking about right now when you say about us writing letters. Sonetta was claiming that boycotts and things of that nature won't be effective because we only make up like a very small percentage of the population of black people. Like, okay, how much of a percentage do you think that we make up as far as like people with our mindsets that's against this stuff? Because black people have become so acceptant of homosexuality, race mixing. How, how many? What percentage do you think that black people who still know the truth and promote black on black love, like how many? Because if it's going to be effective, like writing letters, they're going to really have to lose ratings. They're going to have to lose the majority. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
have to the majority of black people.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have to really affect their pockets.
Right.
What percentage do you think we make up as far as like with this conscious stuff? Just looking around, you seeing, man, how black people are like these damn zombies. They're like zombies that they just got a thirst for white people.
Well, I think that the ones that know the truth, like you and I and Bakari, I think it's not that many of us. You know what I mean? That's my thoughts. I can't really give you a percentage, but I feel like it's not that many of us. But you got the ones that support white power, um, that supposed to be conscious. I think there's a lot more of them than people like us. Because my trinity is the black man, black woman, and black child. That's my trinity. That's my that's my God, and that represent God. Um, so when we start talking about, uh, when the Bible and the Quran, it teaches self-hate. It teaches black people to hate themselves and to show love to your enemy and all this other bullshit. So there's a lot of contradictory in the Bible and the Quran. And I'm just talking about as far as the religious fanatics, on that sense too, because they to the point that they accept anything now. They don't care if you're a homosexual. They don't care as long as that money rolls in. But before that, black people did care. Something happened with black people. You couldn't go into a church being a transgender and all that other stuff, they would call you can't even go to church if you wasn't even married. You know what I'm saying? That's how powerful the black church was. But now, black churches are weak. We already know how the mosque and all that stuff. They don't give a fuck. In the Black Power movement, you got lesbians in the black. The Huru movement. You got lesbians, you got gay, you got all these transgenders and all these people in it. So then something's wrong with that picture. So I think they've been influenced with money because of the indoctrination through media, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a powerful indoctrination through media, and they saying that because you see people are getting rich, making money, they're getting popular, and everybody want to jump on a bandwagon. So everybody's talking in two tongues.
Yep. I'm going to tell you something I think is more powerful than their money. Is the black people wanting to be white so bad we're willing to amalgamate to anything.
Mm,
That's more powerful than their money. That's
mm,
the problem. The problem is our people want to be white.
mm,
They do everything. Think about it. They do everything in their power. They claim everything. We want to be anything other than black. Any slave master is what we want to be. Just think about it.
mm-hmm,
And yes, money is an influence, but even without as much money, there will be people still trying to amalgamate and who's willing to do anything. And like I love LeBron James,
mm-hmm,
but look where LeBron James live. He's still in the same place, in the same house where them white people came and painted nigga all over the house. But he
mm.
still but he still lives there.
Right. That's true.
But then we will turn around and say, we have to move from over here around your own people because it's too dangerous. See, what happened is we forget everything that has ever been done to us by anybody else. But we make it great. We make it great for them because our goal is to make them comfortable. Our goal is to make them comfortable. Our goal is to fit in, and we're gonna do everything in our power to make. But when it comes to us, we're gonna run and we're gonna leave, and that don't take a whole lot of money for our people to do that. So our people get a $17 hour job, and they gone because now they can go live next door to other people. You can have different neighbors. Your neighbors don't have to be black, or as they would say, them niggas don't have to be black. You can move away from them niggas. You can go live around you some good white folk now. So they got us from every angle. Slavery, slavery, Jim Crow did they did a hell of a job on black people. Like they really not working now. We are working for them without getting any money. We are working for them. They don't have to do anything no more. And if they feel they have to do something, the cops will shoot somebody down in the street, unarmed, innocent. But other than that, they really don't have to do nothing. We do all of their dirty work to us now. We do it for them. That's my thoughts on it. And I yield the mic.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Man, what I'm trying to figure out now is, a lot was just said. A lot has been said tonight. With us making such of a small percentage up of those who, want to do better, those who ain't, with the political correctness of America. Okay. Because like I was stating earlier, man, it's just this push, to push us into, acceptance of basically like, self-genocide.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm trying to wonder is, I mean, what is it exactly, man? I mean, is it the money? The success? I mean, the pat on the head from white people? What is it that has black people just willing to just compromise? And man, I'm still trying to come up with this answer.
Let me say this. I think it's more visual. And I know Brother Bakari and me, you had talked about this on the phone about how visual black people are. When we don't see greatness through media, we don't see the unity with the black man and black woman fighting side by side and fighting against white power, or the power that's white power to be. Um, we don't see movies of greatness. Rather we see royalty. Um, it does plays with our psyche, right? So, like I said, when I was showing the clips, and I showed a little small clip earlier with 24 Legacy. You saw the unity, you saw the love, you saw the compassion. I saw some pictures with you see the woman, you see the black love. If black people constantly keep seeing that, as much they see white love and white royalty and all that stuff, and a lot of you know, if black people start seeing themselves in that light, I believe strongly that black people will look at themselves as great people. And when you look at in the past, let me say this. When you look at the past, we can talk about the 60s and 70s, when you saw a lot of black people in shows and in movies, and you see a lot of black man, black woman together. You have more black families coming together, right? They was like, damn, I want to Pam Grier. Everybody want everybody want a sister like Pam Grier. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it was just like, sisters look good, the brothers was fly, you know what I mean? And we want to mimic these people, because we black folks, we like, damn, we got style, you know what I mean? And even through hip hop, LL Cool J say he want a roundaway girl. Who's the roundaway girl? The sisters in the neighborhood. Black people's like, yo, I want a sister like that. So we need that image again, man. We need that. But because we in this white power, this, we starting to lose that. We starting to, black people starting to be more acceptable to watered down bullshit. Because back then that was power. Black people got together. They was on a roll. What have the government did? And Craig, you know what I'm talking about. They neutralized us because they saw a lot of black people start to come up. Because they start to see the shows, they start seeing black people coming up. The communities, we start having communities. So they neutralized us with the drugs and the guns. So the communities became ghettos, became neighborhoods. So now black people couldn't keep their business up. So now you had yellow people buying up the property, white people buying up the property. Now they became the store owners, the oil, the gasoline owners. And now we became more of a tenant. Then you got the self-hate comes in where we killing each other, we threaten each other. Now the images, powerful images, are no longer gone. So now you start seeing movies like Troy and Gladiator. So on these big bad white men. So now you got our sisters talking about, oh, they want a Tom Cruise. So it's deeper. It's really deep. So it's more visual. You know what I mean? It's more visual. We are visual people. It's good to read about it, but we want to see it. We want to see it. We all used to read comics, right? We were big comic book fans. Now we start seeing comics coming to life. And as in the movie theater, we was like, wow, Spider-Man. And we see Superman or whatever, comic books start to come to life. This is what we need to start doing. We need to, finance, or even we need to be the promoters, the producers, to finance directors. Hey, you need money to make this movie? Let's start doing it. I don't care if it's Spike Lee's. We could send money to Spike Lee. Hey, man, we need make some movie to represent us, represent our history. But the chattel slavery in media is fucking real, man. It's real. It's real, and we lost it. And because they don't like to see black love, man. They don't like to see that. I was watching I forgot what year this was. I was watching Survivor. Survivor used to come on Channel 2. And you had this redneck dude, and he had a problem with black people getting together. So in other words, if you're a brother, I'm going to naturally connect with you. And you had a white man, he had a problem with that. Oh, what's up with black people? They come there, it must be, like I forgot the exact words, but I remember he complained about that. He complained that of black people coming together or naturally drawn together. He had a problem with that. And this was on the show. He actually admitted this on the show. I wish I could find that video. So this is what we're experiencing now. We're experiencing white people have a problem of black unity, especially black love. They don't like to see a sister joining hands with her mate, with her own reflection, with her male reflect. They don't like to see that. And vice versa, they don't like to see that. So this is what they're doing now in the media, through media. So, we need to get more visual. We need to start putting out like our own movies. We need to start making some demands, man. Like black people, we don't make no demands about nothing. There's no talking nothing now. I'm tired of talking. We need to start saying, look, this is what we're gonna do, or else. That's it. This is what we're gonna do. If you don't do it, this is what's gonna happen, X, Y, and Z. We're gonna shut it down. Because think about it, we're the biggest consumers, right? So since we're the biggest consumers, we could shut shit down. What is your thoughts?
I absolutely agree. I'm gonna start with what you said, consumer. And it made me think about what Craig said when he said Sarnetta said don't boycott it because it wouldn't do nothing because it be such a small percentage. Yeah, but that small percentage is also the biggest consumers. So if we would have boycott.
No, bro. No, you misunderstand. I was saying that people that's awoke and knows the truth. We are a small percentage of the majority of black people.
I thought you were saying Sarnetta said it wouldn't work because black people such a small percentage.
No, sir. He was saying like he was talking about as far as like it wouldn't make sense to boycott Black Friday because the majority of black people gonna be going to these stores trying to get these deals, and that us that want to boycott, we gonna only be 2 to 3% of the population of black people because the ordinary just working black person want to go get a new television. Say if they could save $150, $200 on a television, you made a lot of sense. But go ahead, bro. I just want to make sure that you understood what I was saying.
Oh yeah, that was a misunderstanding. I think out of the 45 million of us in here, it might be 5% of that 45 million that's awoke, which is going to equate to about 2 million people. And the way I see it is, we know we just need to continue promote by black, because those 2 million people, if we constantly spend it with black people, those 2 million people can help grow black businesses. So that's what we have to do. Now you're right. We don't boycott Black Friday. Find a black-owned business that have a sale, and do your best to support as many black-owned businesses as you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But what about black people being visual people? Like we wanted to see more black love and black empowerment in these movies, or in TV shows.
the black people is a visual people. You know, with whatever we have done, we had to see. Whenever there was a mass movement of us, we had to see some. Our people had to see whoever in leading the way do it first.
But let me say something real quick. I think Brother Craig has said something very interesting before. Remember, I think we was talking about the movie God of Egypt, and we was talking another movie called was it Exodus? Uh, movie called Exodus when they was talking about Tom Cruise was playing. I think it was Tom Cruise or whoever was playing Moses, and they showed all the Egyptians as white people,
Yep.
and they showed these what and to me that was a total to me that's disrespectful. Again, chattel slavery. You're separating black people. And if you do see black people in the movie, they become what? Servants or slaves. So what I'm saying is this is where they remove our greatness and put a white face on it. And then you want to know why black people feel the way they feel. Now you're right. We should not rely on them. But the thing is, they don't tell the truth. They don't tell the truth. And what I'm saying is this, it should be an outrage. Because we'll make an outrage of if a police gun us down, we'll protest of that. But okay, then protest Hollywood. Protest other things. Let the people know that enough is enough. To me, that's liberation. That's part of liberation, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like we talk all this bullshit and we talk everything on the surface, but we got to go into the deep root of racism. Ain't nothing changed. Like I said before, same shit, different time. I would say, like I said, same shit, different times. Same shit. Same shit.
I agree. I agree that it's the same. Uh, it's the same thing. They're just doing it in a different way.
Right.
Uh, Now, for me, if we're gonna do something, we need to figure out a way to keep it amongst us, and let's just not do it. Because if we say it out loud, they have a plan for that.
I know that.
We
I
have
know
to,
that. Revolution is never televised. I already know that.
with some of our strategy, if we're gonna create a strategy and we're gonna do something, it have to be done amongst ourselves. That's where the conversation have to be held, and we have to figure out how to work cross lines, work with organizations, work with other people to get the word out and explain to them why you're doing what you're doing, so to see if they're for it. And even if they're not for it, we still do it. But there's a possibility that they may be for it. But that's how we have to do it. We can't. You can. We can't put our. We have to use tact, and we can't put all our strategy on YouTube and Facebook.
That's true. That's true. But in order to, we gotta to make our people aware of what's going on first, because a lot of people, they look at these shows and they think it's just entertainment, but reality is more of brainwashing. At the same time, they don't realize they're being brainwashed. They don't realize they're being in the matrix. So us, as because we love our people so much, we have to let them know, look, this is what they're doing. This is the reason why you're doing what you're doing, because you are being programmed. And once our people start to realize, oh shit, I didn't realize this is what I was doing, because, I'm thinking that either it was okay, I'm thinking it was, because what I'm seeing was, I didn't think nothing of it. But we have to bring out the tools for us to, for our people could understand what they got to fight for. We gotta let them know. Look, this is the problem. This is the issue. Now this is what we gotta do. This is what we gotta come together and fight against this. Because a lot of black people don't know that they're being brainwashed. They don't know that. They don't know what they're doing is a psychological. They don't know. You got black people still fighting this psychological warfare. This is deep. They so busy focusing on the physical warfare, but the psychological war is more deadly. You know what I'm saying? Once the most powerful weapon is information. And this is what we're doing. We're letting all this shit is conspiracy, man. The white folks, white racists is not going to let you know what they're doing is this conspiracy. They're not going to let you know that, hey, yeah, we are separating black families through media and letting you know, hey, it's okay to be with somebody that don't look like you. But reality, we hate your guts. But according to media, they say, oh, this is a loving interracial relationship. But they don't talk about how Robert De Niro, they don't talk about his marriage. Talking about his wife is disgusted with his ass after 20 years of marriage. And they were separated like a good damn near 10 years. But they don't talk about situation. They don't talk about the reality. But they put it in media, and they thinking, okay, if we put it in media, more black people will just be more separated, and that's it. They'll become more separated. They'll cause a lot of self-hate. And because think about it like this, the more that you're separated from your people, the more power white people have. The more that you're going to take up for white people. So you're going to say, well, I'm married to a white woman and I love her so much, and white people are not bad people. This is what they expect you to say. You know what I'm saying? This is what they expect you to say. And this is the reason why they're going to promote it, because all that black love that they used to show is no more. It's no more. They're not showing that no more. You know what I'm saying? So we already know the coons and the racists. We already know who's running the show now in this new millennium. We already know that. So we have to expose these demons. We have to expose them. And that's what we need to do, man. We need to do that. We got to give black people the tools because you can't say we need to do this and do that and not tell them why we need to do it. You know what I mean? So, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I agree with that. If we're gonna tell them to do something, we have to give them the tools. But we also have to learn to go out. We also have to create options.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just say don't do something we've been doing forever, and haven't created an option.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be able to give our people options.
Right. I agree.
Don't care what it is. We need options. So we have to be able to create options. But when your people with the money is happy in the system, you'll never be able to truly create an option.
Mm.
You'll never truly be able to create any type of option. You know, and shit, all of us, and I'm saying all of us, them, of course, not all of us,
Mm-hmm.
but black people is happy in this system. We are absolutely happy in this system, and it's hard, and it's hard to get out, and it's hard to bring other people out with you.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. If you're out of it, it's hard to bring other people out because they're stuck. Because it's easier, and this is what I say: it's easier. It's easier to just go have fun. It's easier to have fun than it is to try and do something. It's easier to
Mm-hmm.
have fun, and we waiting on someone to free us. Jesus, Allah, white
Mm-hmm.
folks, the Aborigines. So I guess they're waiting on the Indians. It doesn't make a difference. We are waiting on somebody to free us,
And
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 we're
and that
sitting around,
and
and we're
that and that. Go ahead, bro. I mean, I ain't mean
I'm
to cut
saying,
you.
and we're sitting around acting as if not acting anymore. We're sitting around being afraid
Mm-hmm.
to free ourselves.
That's true. That's true. You know, and that's and that you know, it's kind of it's sad because we've been so indoctrinated with religion and we still look at white people, even the so-called black activists. They always need some approval with white folks. There's no demand. I want to see black people demanding. But the thing is, they looking at it like, well, I don't want to be assassinated, or I don't want nothing happen to me, so I'm going to willing to compromise. I'm willing to kiss booty. And you know, to me, if you're not willing to put your life on the line, then don't do it. Fall back and let somebody else do it. You know, the Al Sharptons, and all these people. These people are old, man. These people are old. They
Yes,
need to retire. Let the young revolutionaries step up. And I'm talking about real black people that want to see change. We
yes.
have to be. Go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I agree with you. I'm just agreeing with you.
I'm there. We have to be. We let the young folks with fire and with energy to come up. Because these old people, they're in the way. They're in the way. They compromise because they old. They tired. Retire. Fall back. We don't need you no more. You know, we don't need you no more. You know, black people should go up to Trump and say, no, bro, give us reparations. Give us reparations. Or don't do nothing for us. You know, we need to start demanding. That's what I want. I want reparations. That's it. I don't want nothing else. Once you give our reparations, we can do everything on our own. We're not disabled. We're not stupid.
You
We
know,
can do everything our own.
it's hard.
Everybody,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. I apologize. Go ahead. Go ahead. I thought you was done. I'm sorry.
everybody else got reparations and they doing them. We the only people that have to depend on the same people that's been oppressing us, raping us, and everything else, and still separating us, still doing it. You know, and the pro-blacks, they're compromising with the whole homosexuals. They allowing homosexuals with the Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. To me, that's not a rebel. That's not a liberation movement. That's a white made organized. That's orchestrated by a white man named George Soros. Everybody knows that shit. The NWCP, whatever, orchestrated by white folks. So we already know that most of these so-called black organizations are orchestrated by white folks. Those don't represent me. I don't give a fuck. They could all die out. All die out. Enough is enough, bro. I'm sorry. I'm about to call it out. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
So we gonna be the new leaders. Reparations is the key to everything. I want reparations. Give me my reparations, and we're good. Leave us the fuck alone. We don't need you. We can get our own state. We can start making some serious moves. We can do it, but we don't have the capital as a whole. And the black people that do have money, you know, their money is being controlled. So they have white managers, you know, uh, white promoters, white investors. It's being controlled. It's not being controlled by them, you know. And you can't, and they still got to work for the man. Basketball players, the NFL players, and we see that.
Yeah.
So we have to be more proactive. And this is the reason why I decided to do this program, because I'm letting white people know who run these television shows, these movies, to let them know that I'm not stupid. You're breaking up black families, and you're doing it in a way, you're being slick about it. It's bad enough when you talk about our history, you replace the black man with your own people. And to me, that's disrespectful. And then you want to know why I'm angry? You want to know why that I'm upset, I'm pissed off? Do you know why that the white people is being looked at as evil? Look what I tell white people, look what y'all doing. It's crazy, man. It's just really crazy. You want to say something, Bakar?
Now I'm listening. I'm listening to you right now. You done?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We are the only people that depend on. That's what I say. We are waiting on something else to. We are waiting on something else to save us. We are in this mode where we don't think we can do anything. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And we are almost extinct.
Mm,
And the way that's just what I believe.
mm-hmm,
Right? We're almost extinct, and the way we are going, and the way our people act at times, and the way we act toward one another, we are almost. Sometimes we act as if we're the scum of the earth.
mm-hmm,
We're the scum of the earth. We love everybody else, but hate one another.
mm-hmm,
We wait
mm-hmm,
anybody can come and treat us any kind of way, and all we do is complain.
mm-hmm.
But if I accidentally step on your Jordans, you ready to shoot me.
Right. Exactly.
Man, we have a lot of work. We have a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of work to do. We love white folks, and when I say white folks, I'm talking about everybody that ain't black. That's the
Mm-hmm.
whole buffer class I'm talking about when I say ain't white. When I say white folks, we love them to death.
Yeah. We
But
we're loyal. We're like hound dogs. I'm not saying we, because I know none of us is like
I know
that.
what you mean.
But most of our people are loyal hound dogs to white folks.
Yep, and we have great disdain. We have great disdain for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We really do, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
It's
look,
it's
just look
God.
at what's going on, man. Just look and see over this last year how many Asians have beat black women down
Yeah.
and haven't faced any repercussions.
Nope.
Haven't faced,
George Zimmerman still walking on this planet.
haven't faced none. The white boy in South Carolina that went in that church and killed those people
Mm-hmm.
earlier this year. His sister got caught with. Remember after they did the school shooting in Orlando,
Right.
and they started letting the kids, leave their classroom, whatever, some drill that they supposed to been having all around. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, they caught her with guns, knives, everything. They gonna kill some niggas today.
Mm.
I won't say his name, but if you know his name, you Google his sister. everything that she had and what she was saying and the notes they were passing to one another, you would see it.
Mm,
And she got, I want to say she got like 5 years probation, something like that. But ain't nothing happened. There have been, ain't nothing happened to her. Nothing. I'm not expecting the police to do anything to her. So I think a little different when it comes to that. I
mm,
even think like when it comes to Trump, I think a little different. Trump is supposed to look out for white folks. He's supposed to look out for his constituents. The police do their job when they looking out for white folks. In all honesty, I'm not saying they should kill us. That's not what I'm saying. But their job is not to protect us.
mm-hmm,
Their job is to protect them. And for some strange reason, we haven't figured that out. I had somebody tell me one time they were moved around in a majority white area because it was safer. I'm like,
mm.
since when living around white people been safer?
Wow.
The same people that castrated you, the same people that raped your mother, raped your grandmama,
Mm,
then went to church behind it and said, it's God's will that we did this.
mm,
Those are the people that's all of a sudden safer to be around.
mm, mm, mm.
But what do? Do you forget about them and keep it pushing and allow them to see us doing something successful? Or do you try to bring them with you? And it's not the fact that I hate those people. I dislike those black people. But, it's war.
Mm.
So there's going to be collateral damage. Like I
Right.
was speaking to you last night, and I know you said you agreed with Maurice them about not getting the McDonald's. So then I broke it down to you, right? And you say you had a different understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand people. I understand what they're saying. I understand what you were saying. But if we are in a war, we have to understand there's going to be collateral damage.
That's true too. Right.
It's going to be collateral damage. And if we don't have financing, we have to figure out a way to get money. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just the truth. Who gonna go rob a bank? Ain't nobody robbing banks these days. You robbing banks, you're getting caught. So where's the money gonna come from?
Mm-hmm.
We need money
Yes.
to start businesses,
Right. Right.
to support the business. We need money for any movement that we're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
in this country, regardless of how we feel or whatever. This is the system that we living in. So we have to figure out a way, like everybody else, figure out a way to create your own system while living inside of this system.
Right.
We have to figure it out. There's a lot of ways. Everybody have good ideas, but we're gonna have to sit and bring all those ideas to the table and sit down and say in which order are we gonna go in to take these steps. You know, you want to take baby steps, or do you want to just come out the box running? But whatever, we're gonna have to figure out and see which one we're gonna use first.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the mic.
Brother Craig.
Oh yeah, man, I would just say, this has been a great discussion or whatever, and at this point, man, I'm just really listening, just laying back listening. I don't really have much else to add right at this moment. I'm not sure how long you're gonna continue, but yeah, I'm just laying back in the cut, man, just listening,
Okay.
absorbing everything being said right
You're just soaking everything in. I hear you,
now.
brother.
Yeah.
No, but this is what I want to say. Um, we have to protect our children. I think that's the most important thing because our children is watching these shows, and what you're starting to see now is that the separation of the black man, black woman in these shows that our kids are watching now. These shows are not. Usually they always had shows like the soap opera shows like grown ups to watch, but now you're starting to see you're starting to see the chattel slavery in these kids shows that our children are watching. You got the Supergirls, you got the Black Lightnings. Now kids are watching that shit. You see what I'm saying? So they're growing up being conditioned, thinking, well, it's okay to be a lesbian. It's okay to swirl, you know? And this is how they get us. This is how they get us. And they're always going to see struggle. You're always going to see struggle. I was watching Supergirl, where you have this brother. Number one, he don't have a mate. That's number one. You don't see him with a black woman, so he's already swirling. And then they took away his ability to be a superhero. And they called himself the Guardian. You do see a brother on there, but he's like a Martian. So when he turns, he's a green Martian. So a manhunter, right? So again, you don't see, and also too, with the Guardian, when the brother played the Guardian, his face is covered. So you don't even know who is under that mask. Stupid shit like that just kind of burns me up. Where that we don't really have heroes to look up to, right? We don't have heroes to look up to. Yes, you have Black Lightning, which is a good, which I like the show, but without the lesbian part, it could be a really good show. So what I'm saying, they do certain things, or there's always that one superhero where you have all these white superheroes. Every white person, the majority of the superheroes are white. Where's the equality? So you see a lot of racism in media now, a lot of child slavery. Slavery is all in the media now. That psychological warfare is a bitch. And this is the reason why black people are getting worse. They're not getting better. You can't compare nowadays to the 70s and 80s and hell, even in the 90s. The music has changed. There's no more black love music. What happened to that shit? What happened? Because what happened to the black love music? What happened? Craig, what happened?
Ain't no black love music. We don't control it.
What happened?
We
What happened to our music?
We don't control the music. We support this ignorance that being played, and we don't control the music. We
hit it right in the button. That's it. We don't control it. When we control it, we more as ourselves.
If you look up every race or ethnic group, they put up there. I was watching and I was watching this documentary. David Banner was in it. It's in this order: who make the most money off hip hop, something black people created. It went Jews, white folks. I consider white folks and Jews the same. So it was white folks, Arabs, Orientals, East Indians, Hispanics, East Indians, and black folk.
Mm.
We
And
make
that's the order?
yes, we make less off something we created than every other group of people. But we allowed them to take. Man, look, we've been under attack. Like, when did slavery start? I know it supposedly ended in 1865, right? So when did it start? Like 1619, right? So
Right.
think about this. What is that? That's 200. That's what, 246 years, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, after the 246 years of slavery, in
We got Jim Crow.
1877, Jim Crow started.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Crow didn't end to 1965.
Right.
Jim Crow just ended 53 years ago.
Woo. Wow.
53. If you can go to parts of the Carolina, have you ever heard a comedian say, "Oh, somebody just a barrel of laughs"?
Right. Yeah.
Do you know where they come from?
No.
It was illegal for black people to laugh in front of white people in public on the streets, so they would put their head in a barrel. Look up the laughing barrel law. Man, we have been under attack for so long. They created the way we act. So it's going to be hard for us. It's hard, but we can do it. We just got to do the work. Look at what, when you get a chance, Google the laughing barrel law.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah,
Wow.
laughing barrel law. It was illegal.
What? I didn't even see.
Yeah, I've heard of that because I remember Dr. Khalid spoke about that in one of his speeches. That's what I remember hearing about that laughing
Wow.
barrel.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I really didn't know. That's crazy.
but,
So they
but
control. So that means they control our laughter. They control how we mourn. They control every fucking thing,
yeah,
even
but
our emotions.
but think about it, man. From 1619 to 1965, we were still literally slaves.
Mm,
Excuse me, we were slaves.
mm,
We got Sakwa freedom now.
mm,
But think about it, man. 1619. And some people say before then, but I don't know when. We were slaves, man. Slave from 1619 to 1865, right? 1877 to 1965. 200 and what was that? 246 years of chattel slavery, right?
mm,
Then you go from 1877 to 1965. That's 88 years, right?
mm.
So
Right.
what's that? 88 and 265, 13, 3, 5,353 years
Mm,
of oppression, of oppression,
mm,
of constantly being beaten, constantly being raped,
mm-hmm,
constantly being told you are not nothing, constantly told everybody is better than you,
mm-hmm,
over and over and over for 300. And that's to 1965. Now,
mm,
1965 to 218, 2018, count them years. 95, 30, 05, 40, 50. That's like what, another 50 some years
mm-hmm. That's
of
about
the, yeah, that's another what, 53 years.
mm,
So what was the other one? 330 something plus 53. Think about it, man. And you wonder why we act the way we act. That's why I don't judge. I try not to. I don't want to say that back and say I don't judge. But I shouldn't judge. And we shouldn't judge. This is just my opinion. Our people as much. Ain't nobody here, nobody ever been under the relentless. There's only one throughout history, ancient history, whatever I study, there's only
mm,
been one civilization that's been under constant attack like us. And
mm.
that was ancient Kemet. They
You're
were
right.
constantly under attack
That's
because
true.
people wanted what they had.
Mm-hmm. That's true. You're
Now
right.
we are constantly under attack
Mm-hmm.
because people want to get rid of us.
Right.
We are constantly under attack over and over and over, and they think of different ways, different ways to
Mm-hmm.
do it. And we can't stand, as far as much as I love Khaled, but you can't stand out in the public and scream and talk about what you're gonna do the way he did it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to use tact.
You're right.
They can't know everything we gonna do
Right.
because they already have a plan anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They have a plan, but if they don't know what you're gonna do, they don't know which plan to implement. You have to
Right.
catch them by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
You have to catch them by surprise.
You're right. And that's exactly what we got to do. That's why this is the reason why we have to wake our people up, let them know that um, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I mean, we see a lot of racism, and now they're doing it through the kids shows. They separating us. They putting less black love and more more separating us, where you see a lot of, like I said, a lot of swearing, a lot of homosexuality, what is, like you said before, is all that's a death style to us. Now, we don't believe, now, technically, we don't believe in none of that shit. But now, because now people just have sold out and all that stuff, we tend to hurt ourselves and thinking that's is okay, because, like I said, people want to either want to live comfortably. People don't want to, they don't want to, people, because maybe because it's out of fear or whatever the case is. So we have to call them out and say, look, this is what they're doing, and we have to, once we give them, so that way black people can have a choice. Either they want to do something about it, or they want to continue being oppressed and being played. Because we are looked at as the weakest link.
We are the laughing stock of the human race.
Right, we are.
Of the human species, because it's not a race. We're the
Right,
laughing stock.
we are.
I'm gonna tell you something, right? You know who Bayard Rustin is? You ever heard of Bayard Rustin?
No. Oh yeah, Bill Rustin. That's he's a homosexual.
The homosexual dude that was with Martin Luther
Martin
King.
Luther King. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, if you study that and study him, look how they tied Martin Luther King's hands up. Martin Luther King didn't want him around. But that
Right.
goes to show how long they've been. Martin Luther King was killed in 6 to 8, 1970. Bayard Rustin say, the Negro has gotten all the rights they need. It's time to look toward the homosexuals.
Mm.
Now, Black Panthers was in the 60s and 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people love Angela Davis.
Right.
Homosexual.
That's true.
They have been pushing this on us for a very long time. We have never had anything that we control, and when we did control it, because at one point we did control the Black Panthers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, the Black Panther has a long history. The Huey P. Newton Black Panthers, I guess they were okay. Ain't nobody gonna. I don't talk down on them, but I don't talk them up at all. And I'm just being honest.
Right.
Most people don't know the Black Panther Party, self-defense, did not start in Oakland, California. It started in Lowndes County, Alabama. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
It was co-opted. And if you study Huey P. Newton, a lot of people don't know he had Jewish Panthers, Scottish Panthers, White Panthers, Asian Panthers. Have you ever heard any of those different Panthers getting shot?
No.
No.
I didn't even know they.
Because Jews ran the Black Panthers in Oakland, California. If you look up Stokely Carmichael and you study him, he tell you why he left.
Mm.
Huey P. Newton created all that stuff to come into the organization. And this is not a Huey P. Newton bashing session. But the point that I'm making is we want to amalgamate. Think about it. It went from black power to power for the people.
Mm.
You ain't never.
Right.
It went from black power to power for the people. What people? So now it's power to all the people. Because they were not just black first. Trust me, you have to study it and see.
Okay.
And once you study it and see, you understand what I'm talking about.
Mm.
But Stokely Carmichael was black first. That's why he left and came to New York. Remember, he was in New York.
Right. That's true.
That's why he went to New York. You study him. But don't care what it is we have allowed money, white power, to influence everything that we have done.
Mm.
Not everything, of course, but you know what I mean. Just about everything. Yeah. White people was able to somehow come influence it because we put ourselves in position. And I'm not going to even go to way back then. Look at Al Sharpton. I believe Al Sharpton used to have good intentions. But remember, he got caught up in that tax evasion thing.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got to do what I got to do to keep him going to prison. We have to keep our nose clean. We have to do right because we know they're coming. We have to walk that straight and narrow line that they created for us. They created the line.
Hmm.
We have to walk that thin line. We have to walk that thin line and make sure everything is okay. Regardless of how we feel about the line, we know it's not right. But until we are in a position to do something about that line, we have to be okay with walking that line.
Right. Correct.
But be proud, be black and be proud. Hold your head up while you do it. And don't let them catch you up at nothing. And we don't put ourselves in a position. We don't want to put ourselves in a position like Huey P. Newton. Put ourselves in a position like Al Sharpton.
Hmm.
And you can probably name countless others. You don't want to put yourself in a position where now you got a choice. You're gonna listen to what we say, or your ass finna go to prison.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, black people need to be more liberated mentally, psychologically. I think we're trying to, whatever we're trying to do, we're trying to liberate black people psychologically. And when we start to, that's the only way they can move forward. And echo back. That's the only way we can get get them to in order for them to uh, put their ideas into action, they have to be liberated first up here. The bottom line. Because as long as they don't unbrainwash us, because like I said, our minds is like a computer. Our mind is a computer. That's all it is. It's a computer organism. So once we understand that how the mind works, we can unbrainwash ourselves, and now we can say, okay, no, this is ain't right. They know that death style stuff is not right. Their spirit is talking to them, but they ignore it because because they're blinded with the fame. They're blinded with because they're white people's grass is greener. They're blinded with a whole bunch of garbage.
Yep.
So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to liberate our people psychologically so they can move forward and putting their stuff into action. That's the reason why a lot of these black organizations are failing because it's incorporated with white ideology. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? It's incorporated with white trash, I should say. And this is the reason why these are the reasons they're pointless. Black Lives Matter, pointless, pointless,
Of
and I can
course.
name more. So that's the thing, man. We just have to we have to be more focused, and we got to call out the bullshit, and then we got to take action. Once we call it out, then we know what to do. A lot of our people don't know they're being programmed. They don't know that. They're looking at just entertainment, but they're not realizing they're being programmed. Trust me, it's real deep, man. It's some really deep shit, and this is something that they feed off of our desires. They feed off that. We want a black show? Oh, we'll give you a black show, but we're gonna incorporate our agenda in that black show. It's what they're doing. So we're gonna put in the swirling. We're gonna put in the homosexuality. We're gonna put in some black on black violence. This is what they do. Oh, but we give you a black show. We're gonna put down black man putting down his black woman. We gonna but we gave you a black show like Empire is a black show. But look at the shit that's in it. Look at the garbage that's in it, and it's getting views. Something is wrong with that picture. All right. I guess we got to start with our closing statements. Starting with Brother Craig. Any closing statements, brother, before we shut it down?
Okay, yes, sir. I just say, man, yeah, appreciate the invite. And today has been real good discussion or whatever. And I just think, man, you so right. We just have to continue to, get this word out because a lot of our people don't even see, the spider web that they tangled up in. And
Mm-hmm.
so we got to have awareness. And, with the platform that you have, to this point, man, we able to do things, that we couldn't do, that black people wasn't able to do 50, 60 years ago, with the advance of modern technology. Now it's a lot easier for us to, spread truth. I mean, we can even create, some low budget films,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, put, portray our people, man, in a positive light.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we definitely, man, you need to use these platforms like this, man, to get the word out here about, this, man, this propaganda campaign is being pushed on us. And
Mm-hmm.
how are we gonna pick up and fight against it, man? Because like you say, it's time for us to put our foot down. It's time for us to put our foot down and just let these people know, man, we're not gonna take you depicting us, inaccurately. We're not gonna have that. Just bottom line, just like they, always tried to paint Egypt white. They paint
Mm-hmm.
Africa as a savage, jungle.
Yeah.
And then, they paint black people in America as all, criminals, convicts.
Mm-hmm. Pimps.
What is it? They women, yeah, pimps, all of these things. So it's up to us, bro. So man, I appreciate the invite or whatever, man. I'm looking forward to, many more discussions. So I'll hand the microphone over to Bakari.
Thank you, uh, brother Guy Nollywood, and for inviting me on the show. It was a pleasure to be on the show with you and Craig of African Supremacy TV. Peace to the chat. Thank y'all for joining. Uh, this was a good show. I wish I could have been here a little longer, but I had to go make. I had to go work. So, but like I said, I thank you for joining. This is something we need. We have to push positive things on these platforms. We have to push positive things on these platforms. We have to overcome the scammers so they can know the real from the fake.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something we have to do. And once again, I thank you for inviting me. I yield the mic.
And oh yeah, we're going. I'm gonna save the other part for last, but I like that famous say about Marcus Garvey, but we'll say that for last. Well,
I
I'm gonna
got
get
you.
back.
I
I'm gonna
got
get back to you. I'm gonna get back to you. Don't go nowhere, brother.
I ain't going nowhere.
But I just want to thank those for watching the show. The bottom line is this: chattel slavery in media is real. It's real. Nothing has changed under the sun. We living in a country where black love, black love between the black man, black woman is being under attack. Okay, they don't want to see that, and this is what they're showing in the media, even in the children's shows, where they pushing homosexuality, where the black woman, they take our best looking black people, and they're put them in these roles where it's degrading to our people. It's not a beautiful thing as black people. It's not a beautiful thing to see a beautiful a sister with interracial lesbian act or lesbian period. It's not a beautiful thing to see a black male with another black male. That's not a beautiful thing. It's not a beautiful. It's not a beautiful thing with the whole swirling campaign that they're doing. Among black, it's not a beautiful thing. And you see how the relationship is different. So if you want to see black people and loving each other, you talking about love. You want to talk about black people need to love themselves and all that, then concentrate on black love. Call these shows out. Write letters. Let them know how you feel. So I don't want to see no more of that shit. I want to see the black man and black woman coming together. Real black people. Real black folks showing love and making action movies together. You know, you got to call these people out, man, because they're separating us. When they show our history, they don't show our greatness. But this is something that we you know, but this is the nature of the beast. This is what they do, because they don't like us, like they don't love us. They try to use their agenda and they cover it with love. But oh, I love black people. See, I put you in these shows. You're making money. You know, they don't love us. There's an agenda. There's the reason why they're doing this. And their job is to break up black families. They did it with the drugs and the guns. You go back further, they did it during slavery when they separated families, which I showed in the beginning of this program. Ain't nothing changed. So we have to understand that. We have to recognize what we watch. We have to analyze every little thing what we watch. And if it's healthy, if it's not healthy, we need to start checking these people. We need to start checking people like Lee Daniels. You know, we gotta, you know, that's not us. What you see in Empire, that's not us. That's not black. That's not how it works. You could talk about Bill Cosby all you want, but at least Bill Cosby showed how black people supposed to be. And black people used to be. You got a lot of black people that live like that. You got a lot of black doctors and black lawyers, upper middle class black people. When I was young, yeah, I thought like that. I thought, oh, that's, you know, that doesn't exist. But I said to myself, wait a minute. I was one of those people. I was one of them. I come from a successful home. I know people, I know a lot of black people that come from successful home. A lot of black people is not from the hood. They didn't grow up in the ghetto. You know, we didn't create ghettos. Compton was a middle-class neighborhood. Harlem was middle class before they dumped the drugs and the guns in the community. I mean, that's not us. We're not ghetto people. But we got so caught up eating the whole water. We got so caught up eating the butter biscuits and the fried chicken and watermelon syndrome. We got caught up in that bullshit, and we thinking, oh, well, that's how black people supposed to live. So we're gonna, you know, fit the stereotype. You know, drinking the malt liquor on the corner. It's not us. You know, it's a lot of shit that we're doing we don't supposed to be doing. That's that we in our unnatural state. We got to get back into being in our natural state. You know, so now of course you got black people that don't want to be black no more. You got Africans versus Aboriginal and all this other fuckery, man. The self-hate goes on and on and on. You know, it should never be black on black. It should never be on that. Rather, whatever it is, we all come from the same fucking continent. All of us. Whether you like it or not, goddammit. There's no such thing as no black native Indian. You need to stop that bullshit. You know, because all that came from the white man's propaganda. All that bullshit, all that separation, all that debating, oh, who am I, and all this other stuff, all that came from the white man's propaganda. This is what they like to see. And while you seeing all this debates and all this, white man sitting up there, he say, yo, I got these niggas. I got these I got these little monkeys. I got them. They enjoying it. So I hope y'all learned something. And we're gonna make more deep programs. Like I said, I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna go right all the way in the fox and all the way in the foxhole, the rabbit hole, all the way. Okay. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all my RBG Nation. And Brother Bakari, you want to give us our famous quote from the Honorable Marcus Garvey?
Be black, buy black, think black. Everything else will take care of itself. Peace and one love.
One love,